There is a Christian saying derived from the New Testament: you cannot serve both God and money. Few realize that this is an update, the original M word perhaps too powerful, too insidious to repeat for fear of conjuring into the world something uncontrollable, something with a mind and desires all its own. Today, on Scream to Screen, we explore Mammon, the infernal being whose very name can be synonymous with wealth and greed. Further, we take a look at some of the many ways one may make contact with the demon, should they dare to do so. Before we plunge into the darkness, make sure you subscribe to The Graveyard Shift and let us know in the comments below which true-life horror stories you'd like for us to cover in the future. It is true that Mammon is the Hebrew word for money and wealth, but there is a reason to believe that this name was taken from one of the Hell's 7 princes. The word itself shares similarities with the Aramaic and Canaanite languages relative to possessions and money. It is clear that even ancient people were aware of the dastardly ability of money to corrupt otherwise simple people, and that the road to hell is most certainly paved in gold. But among the hierarchy of damnation, one has come to personify this threat. Mammon has at times been said to be another name for Beelzebub, but most demonologists and theologians have come to identify Mammon as his own being, with his own associated sinful designs. In Notes on the New Testament, author Alan Barnes makes the claim that the name comes from the Syriac word for a pagan idol worshipped by his followers of a god of riches. But Barnes failed to qualify this statement with any substantive evidence. During the Middle Ages, Mammon was first seen as a minor demon of avarice, injustice, and the rich. This may find its roots in translation of the name, or perhaps this devil has become to be born into the nether realm as a result of occult forces, driven by the collective unconscious, and very clear fears of the wickedness men do in pursuit of money. Other authors may be able to lay claim to the personification of their published works, with naturally Milton's Paradise being looked to by many as the moment when Mammon was most purely and succinctly identified. Milton described Mammon as yet another fallen angel, taken by an intoxicating desire over earthly possessions. Mammon, as seems to be the case with the other fallen, once a divine creature, sank into corruption and sin with his central obsession of attaining and hoarding resources. Quickly adopted by occultist writers and added into the field of study, Mammon made appearances in a number of other texts, such as de Plancy's Dictionnaire Infernal, which would identify Mammon as Hell's ambassador to England. Later, Thomas Carlyle, in passages from Past and Present, would point to the gospel of Mammonism as a simply and metaphoric personification for the materialist spirit of the 19th century. In today's world, one that places a premium on bank accounts, material possessions, and flaunting of wealth, it is no wonder that Mammon is stronger than ever, and his power felt by even the most frugal among us. Greed is among the most universal and dangerous of the 7 deadly sins, as we all desire comfort and the ability to navigate life without fears of poverty and lack. The line between this comfort and a more diabolical relationship with sufficient capital and excess is often blurred, perhaps by design. Sin, by nature, is the method through which demons derive strength, so naturally, an attractive offer must be made. What better way to convert the masses to the Dark Lord than to offer them cold, hard cash? Mammon offers a direct route toward financial superiority. One need only give in and accept his dark divinity to find easy earnings. The worship of gods and demons alike in hopes of attaining a desire is nothing new, and it certainly seems to be a part of the lasting appeal of Mammon and his continuing strong presence in the lives of his followers, and in cases of demonic visitation. In spite of the obvious dangers of dealing with evil forces, for many, the chance to live a life of excess is too tempting to ignore. There have been many ways identified through which one may commune with Mammon and seek his favor in hopes of exploiting access to filthy lucre. So, you've decided that your eternal soul is worth the price of exchange to experience a mortal life full of splendor. Let's take a look at some of the traditional practices one may use to appease the Prince of Hell to bless or curse you with all your heart's desires. Just remember, money can't buy love, or so they say. Chanting to Mammon is a good start, and most religions will include the repetitive naming and praising of the deity as a foundational element of their practice. It is said that with enough vigorous chanting, the demon might just appear and grant you a moment in which you may cut a deal with the shrewd businessman. Beyond simply chanting Mammon's name and praise, one may try Tasa Mammon on Kalirak for direct summoning, or Mammon Leafdoch Cleefoth, a phrase said to strengthen future spells involving the demon. A sigil is another powerful tool one may implement in the process of conjuration. Finding Mammon's sigil and creating an environment in which one may fully invest and focus on his mystical symbol is critical to success. After applying this very tactic, a devotee claimed to have been met by a middleman of sorts. A lesser demon appeared to them and provided the worshipper with an intricate ritual one might conduct in order to gain audience with Mammon. This worshipper is said to have followed the instructions to the note, resulting in the manifestation of the Prince of Avarice himself. Rather than being showered in gold and rare gems, the bemused demon summoner was presented only with a list of books and Mammon's solemn promise that these would lead to financial gain. If you have access to Norwegian owl skin, an option for you might be to fashion an owl rope bracelet. This is a rather crafty way to impress Mammon with a symbol of devotion. Those who have made such a bracelet claim that this has provided them with the ability to channel the powers of the demon, and gives the Dark Lord a greater sense of comfort to appear in the mortal world. Talismans and pendants are another great way to show devotion. Surely we have all seen the comfort provided to wearers of this religious figure symbol, and the same is true for Mammon. His sigil upon a necklace is said to imbue its wearer with guidance from the demon. With 5 billion copies sold, the Bible remains perhaps the best-selling book of all time. If you have a copy handy, you have a major component with which one may summon Mammon. Simply flip the book open to Psalms 23 and draw a pentagram on the floor large enough to stand in. While in the circle, light a candle and face away from the top point of the pentagram star. This will represent a triumph of will over the spirit. Reciting Psalms 23 while in the position will anger Mammon greatly, causing him to arrive. With his arrival, one must be prepared to deal with an enraged prince, but this is seen as a reliable way to get his attention. Anointing oils are another method adopted by a number of faiths and traditions, and again, Mammon has his own preferred oil. Naturally, it's referred to as simply money oil. Money oil is a concoction requiring the following items and ingredients: mint oil, the seal or sigil of Mammon, a blade, and money powder made with cinnamon, nutmeg, parsley, and basil. Place the mint oil and money powder on a candle and let it burn while you call out to Mammon. Once Mammon appears, cover the seal with blood and mint oil. Finally, sprinkle money powder on the seal and around the house in which you are performing the ritual. Mammon will bless the areas in which you have spread the resulting oil. Another method of contact involves a bit less work and hopefully less bloodshed. With a mirror, some meat, and a fistful of coins, one may invoke Mammon's appearance. Place the mirror on the ground and stand atop it, barefoot, with the coins in your left hand and the meat in your right. This is said to be among the more risky conjurations, as the demon may demand a sacrifice upon arrival. If you have 4 days to spare and a particularly complex request, one may attempt the following incantation. Place coins beneath as many candles as you can gather and light them, surrounding a black mirror. After writing down your request, seal it in a dark envelope and wait no less than 4 days to pass, allowing the energy to build. After this passage of time, it is said that your desire will be fulfilled. As a species, our greatest gift may be our ability to imagine, and this is most certainly an aspect of our lives that is of interest to Mammon. It is said that by sheer force of will and imagination, one may bring forth communion with the prince. With a concerted focus, imagine yourself as a wolf, an animal commonly associated with this hellish being of greed. Maintaining this image of the self in wolf form, continue to envision yourself eating cash, coins, and gold. Do this with enough intensity, and Mammon may grant you the power to make money. Lastly, one may simply write a letter to Mammon, for this is the best way to follow the script, said to have been provided by the King of Riches himself. The letter should read as follows. To Mammon, O Mammon, you are known as the god of money, and from you all wealth springs. Your power is over everything that is bought or sold. All that comes from money is yours. This power I ask from you, let it be mine. Give this power to me, Mammon. Let it be mine. Give me your power, Mammon. let your money be mine. Upon completing this note, read it aloud while burning it during the waxing phase of the moon. Allow the candle to burn for another half hour before blowing it out. This was the price of postage, and if done right, Mammon may bestow upon its sender access to great wealth. When dealing with demons, the chances of things going your way are quite rare. It should be noted that those who seek to deal with devils often find that they end up paying a dear price in the end. While it is rare that interaction with demons may have happy endings, this has not prevented people from a wide variety of backgrounds from attempting to do such things. Be it a Faustian deal at the crossroads or a game of chance, the house nearly always wins. In that case, house just so happens to be hell. But if damnation doesn't frighten you and direct communication with one of its seated princes doesn't give you pause, perhaps the following words of Lord Byron will. Maidens, like moths, are ever caught by glare, and Mammon wins his way where seraphs might despair. Do you dare to deal with Mammon, the demonic personification of greed and money? What price would you be willing to pay to never have to worry about bills and debt ever again? Let us know in the comments below. Please be sure to like and subscribe to The Graveyard Shift, and as always, check back next time to find out what else will make it from scream to scream.